Welcome to the bracket stage of the MSI 2023 here in London. Day number 1 of the main stage of the tournament, and it's GEN.G going against G2. The first seed from the LCK Spring Split going against a team that has shown some good performances in the early play-in stage. So fasten your seatbelts, cause this ride could last for up to 5 games.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
So here we finally are, main stage entertainment for the first time in the tournament. GEN.G playing from the blue side with Doran on the Fiora in the top lane, Peanut on the Vi in the jungle, Chovy, he's in the mid lane on the Ahri, and Pace and Delight, the bot lane duo, on Aphelios and Leona. And for G2, from top to bottom as well, it's Broken Blade on the Darius, Yike, he placed in Italy, Caps on the Lissandra, and Hans Sommer and Mickey on Draven and Braun. 2.5 minutes of the game, we see Yike going for the first gank. The first Italy spear connects, Pace flashes away from the second, but still no chance for the GEN.G ADC to survive, but also Mickey taken down there by the turret shots. So it's a trade 1-for-1, but first blood going to G2 as Delight. Zenith blades in on Hans Sommer, trying to trap him there under the turret, but it won't be enough to take down the G2 ADC. But we're up into the mid lane where we see the Ahri charm connecting on Caps, who's already low. He flashes away but has no chance to avoid the grey screen there. And back into the bot lane we go after 4 minutes. It's another doomed situation there for Pace as he gets taken down for the second time. And now on the top lane, 5 minutes into the game, Dory, Peanut and also Chovy going for the dive on Broken Blade. The Noxian commander standing tall, doing everything he can, but nothing would be enough. 7.5 minutes into the game, a little skirmish there around the Dragon Pit where G2 is about to take it. But in return, the first sweet Shelly goes to GEN.G. And we're up over a couple of seconds where we see Yike and Caps going for a potential gank, but instead, it's gonna be Peanut who gets impaled and frozen and sent back to his base against his will. Just a minute later, it's Delight and Peanut with Zenith Blade and Vault Breaker there on Mickey, who's now falling back under his turret, but the cease and desist from Peanut comes in, and also the Aphelios ult, which is flash dodged by Mickey there, nice move, and now he tries to turn things around with the Glacial Fissure. Yike now with his Q on Delight, who dodges, but now the whirling death of Hans Sommer comes in. It connects twice on Delight, and now the second spear will let Delight see the respawn timer. And after 12 minutes, we see good old Shelly there in the bot lane about to charge into the T1 of G2. And the game on that point pretty much evened out as G2 is now taking the second Drake of the game as well. While we are skipping another 1.5 minutes to see Doran there in the bot lane taking down a tier 1 turret. And so his gold lead over Broken Blade will further grow. Hopping over now to the Herald Pit, we see a clash approaching between the two teams. G2 closer to the Herald and in numbers advantage until Pace arrives. He then will make it a 4v4 and Hans Sommer, he's already only at half HP. And now on the top side screen, Doran, he comes in with the TP. Broken Blade has no teleport to join his fight. Caps gets immediately stunned by the Fiora W. Doran now going for Hans Sommer, who tries to get away with the blast combat, it won't be enough. The ADC of G2 falls and Caps, he will fall in just seconds later. Great play there by GEN.G using the Doran TP to get the numbers advantage. And they will be rewarded with 2 kills and the Herald. And on top of that, they will have now a slight gold lead over their opponent. 2 minutes later, we're in the mid lane where we see Doran queuing in on Hans Sommer, chasing after him, but he will then get stunned by the Braun passive. And he has to make his way out of there because Caps teleports in, but Chovy on the other side as well. A full 5v5 team fight as Broken Blade now joins the fight. But Peanut, he makes it a 6v5 as he summons the Herald. And G2, they're distracted by 5 threatening members of GEN.G. This cannot stop the Herald from destroying their turret. And so they are now falling back, but Peanut, he goes in with the cease and desist on Hans Sommer. And he will beat down the Draven. And now Delight follows in to take down Mickey as well on Caps. He sacrifices himself there to enable Yike and Broken Blade to get away there alive. And so it's another 3 kills in the pockets of GEN.G. And they are now waiting for the minions to chisel the tier 2 turret into pieces. And we see Peanut there already bringing down the 3rd Drake of the game. And it will be the first for the team from the LCK, which is now leading their opponent in gold by 6,000. And seeing Chovy there taking down the top lane T2 after 21.5 minutes will further increase the gold gap. And a couple of seconds later, we see Doran there attacked by Broken Blade. He's low, he has to get away there with all the Qs that the Fiora has. But Broken Blade, he has to go summon a spell, and he's now on the hunt for the lady from Valoran. And he ruthlessly apprehends her and decimates her. But in the meantime, while Doran is still waiting to respawn, his team will bring down the Baron Nashor without any contest. And so they're now on the power play. 1.5 minutes later, we see 3 members of G2 chasing down Doran, but they won't reach him, as the rest of Gen.G is invading the opponent's base in a 4v2. On the bot side, inhib turret about to be gone, as Caps and Yike, they only by now reach the base. Can they at least defend their inhib? But Gen.G, having their empowered minions and the cannon minion damaging the inhib, they can fully focus on fending off the opponent. And so it's mission accomplished, but Gen.G, instead of falling back, it's Delight and Peanut going for Caps. He's in the stopwatch, not having his ult, but Delight, he gets slain. Caps gets charmed by the Ahri and taken down as well. So it's a trade, 1-for-1 for now. Gen.G still with the 4v3 numbers advantage, but they will have no chance against 3 members of G2 standing under the Nexus turrets, and so they disengage. There's a Mountain Drake on the plate to be taken. G2 chasing after them, and it's Doran who gets caught. And it's 4 members of G2 now hammering on him. But he can use his W and his Q to dash away there. And he gets ignited by Mickey there. Dodges the spear, but not the Draven Axe. And Summer flashing after him and finally bringing him down. 4v2 now for the moment in favor for G2. They will kill Peanut, but Chovy, he enters the stage. Takes down Yike with Charm and Everfrost. And now Mickey is next victim. As Pace sends on Summer back to the fountain. Caps now TP's in, but it will be too late to save Broken Blade. And our Caps in the 2v1 goes into the Frozen Tomb. Stopwatch activated. Pace is limping out of range to save his life there. And Chovy waiting for the 4th kill in this situation to ace G2. And Delight now back to the scene, going with Pace there for the dragon. Chovy, he's pushing the minions. And now it's a 10k gold lead and 2 mountain breaks for Gen.G. As we still see the replay of the scene before we now hop into the topside jungle of G2, where Mickey finds himself in an awkward situation against Delight and Peanut, and it turns out to be a grey screen for him. Chovy in the midline gets stunned and bullied around, but Doran, Peanut and Delight, they come in to take down Broken Blade and save their mid laner. Now Caps is getting low, airborne, and sent back to the fountain for good probably. Doran, he's chasing down Hans Summer. Yike turns golden, and it will be the last seconds for G2 in this game 1, as Gen.G, by showing a great performance in their very first game in this tournament, will take this game 1, and they will take the lead in this series. And we are curious to see what more will it have in store for us, and so we hop directly over to game 2. And we go into this one, as we see Gen.G now playing from the red side, with Doran on the Tristana on the top lane, Peanut, he's on the Maokai, Chovy playing the Lissandra as it was played before by Caps, and on their bot lane it's Pace on the Aphelios, and Delight on the Blitzcrank. For G2, it's Broken Blade playing the cannon in the top lane, Yike, he's on the Viego, Caps playing the Annie, Hans Summer on the Jinx, and Mickey, he plays the Thresh. And now, 3.5 minutes into the game, we see the hook of Mickey landing there on his roll opponent. Both supporters are getting low, but Delight, he managed to flash away, and so it's Pace taking down Mickey. So it's first blood going to Gen.G, but only a couple of seconds later we see there the flash W by Caps, preventing Chovy there to escape with his Glacial Path, and the QW will get Chovy killed there, but so does the turret with Caps. Hex Flash into hook there by Delight. Pace comes by, roots him with his Gravitum. Yike comes trying to save his ADC, but it won't be enough to save him from the grey screen. We now see two screens on the left one. Peanut running away from Yike and Broken Blade, but we will focus on the right-hand side. But Pace flashes in and with his crescendo, he takes down Hans Summer, and now the hook by Delight there, and so Mickey falling victim as well to the Gen.G ADC. G2 about to take the Herald, but in the bot lane it's Caps who gets dived there by Delight and by Pace, and it's kill number 4 going to the ADC of Gen.G already. Oh my sweet Shelly, I beg you'll let me take some breath in this intense beginning of this game number 2. And as we see the Herald charging into the T1 of Gen.G in the top lane, in the bot lane it's again Caps, about to be dived there, this time by Pace and by Peanut. The Nature's Grasp connects, followed by the Twisted Advance, then by the Maokai Q, and again it will be Pace, who takes his 5th kill, and even the Super Mega Death Rocket won't bring him down. And so Gen.G taking the first dragon of the game, and we up into the top lane where it's nobody else but Pace. He's the incarnation of menace there for G2. And Doran collecting the first turret gold there in the bot lane. And back into the top lane we go, where we see both bot laners now, joined by Peanut with the Nature's Grasp. He goes in, the Blitzcrank hook, knock up, and who else but Pace will take the kill. He's godlike now, really deserving this denotation. And it's 7 out of 9 kills in the pockets of the Aphelios, who's now sitting on the shutdown gold of 700. And so Gen.G, after taking down the top lane T1, they will lead with 7,000 gold. And we all know who's the rich fellow among them. Now we go back into the mid lane where Mickey gets hooked by Delight there and knocked up. And it's Pace who collects another kill, but Delight falls victim there to Yike, who's now in the midst of 3 players. And it's another double kill for Pace there, who's not finished yet. He gale forces onto Ansama Doran, he hops over the wall and he collects another kill for Gen.G there. 3-for-1 trade for the team from the LCK, and as a cherry on top, the sweet Rift Lady. A minute later now, Peanut and Pace taking down the dragon as we see Delight and Doran going for the gank in the top lane. The turret falls and it's knock up into a hook, into a root there by Delight and Doran. And they will leave the Annie there in grief and mourning. And after 16.5 minutes, we see the raging Shelly there, taking down a T2 in the mid lane. Peanut and Pace now going for the inhib turret as well. Chovy comes by, and so does Delight as the Herald gets off another charge, takes down another turret, and Pacey goes in. Gale Force, Flash, Flamethrower Q, and his ult. It's a full rotation there, raining down on Hans Sommer. Epic move there by the ADC of Gen.G, but G2 then a re-engage, having Yike there for the flank. Mickey, he flashes and gets knocked up, and Pace with another kill, but eventually it will be Yike with a shutdown on the ADC of Gen.G, going for the double kill now on Delight. And so G2 finally chasing their opponent out of their base. But it won't take much longer than a minute until we see a lunatic Tristana taking down the Annie there in the top lane. And the TP by Broken Blade is cancelled. Who's in the bot lane, in the Frozen Tomb, hooked and knocked up by Delight and sent into the greyness. And this is a dangerous situation for the team from the LEC. After almost 19 minutes, we see 3 members of Gen.G taking down the mid lane inhib and now moving towards the Nexus turrets. Only Ansama and Mickey there to defend the Nexus. Their opponent is being serious as they go for the dive on Mickey. And now Chovy on the Lissandra, TP's in as well. The first turret about to fall as we see Yike collecting a shutdown there on Doran. And Gen.G, they are going for the second Nexus turret. And Broken Blade, he will be back right now. Yike also recalls. But Delight, he lands an incredible hook on Caps there. As Chovy takes out Mickey. Caps falls as well. And Summers looking into the grave. 4v2 now in front of a blank Nexus. Will this game be over after not much more than 19.5 minutes? It pretty much looks like, because Yike and Broken Blade, they won't find an angle to attack the 4 members of Gen.G, who are now working down the Nexus. And it will be fall in a couple of seconds. Gen.G taking game 2 as well. And so they earned themselves 3 match point games. First match point game in this best of series, and for G2 it's now or never. They really have to pull some rabbits out of their heads. It's Broken Blade in the top lane on the Cannon, Yike on the Poppy, Caps again on the Annie, and Hans Sommer and Mickey there on Xayah and Rakan. And for Gen.G it's Doran on the Malphite, Peanut, he's on another lead, Chovy, he plays the Casanti, and in their bot lane, Pace and Delight on Zeri and Rel. On the first scene will lead us 3 minutes into the game where Broken Blade and Yike are ganking in the top lane. The G2 jungler with a steadfast presence smashes Doran into the walls. And it's first blood drawn by the team from the LEC. And we're already almost 9 minutes into the game as we see Peanut collecting the Herald there for his team. Now it's Mickey joining Caps there in the mid lane. Chovy, he's getting stunned by the Annie, then knocked up by the Rakan. But then he draws Mickey away with his all out. And now the G2 support on grave danger there, limping away with a little bit health bar that is left for him. Caps, he's low on mana there, but it will be enough for the Q and the Tibbers. And he saves his supporter and takes down the Gen.G mid laner. But at the same time in the top lane, Peanut now coming by for the gank. And they have Broken Blade encircled. And the screen already slowly but surely turns grey. The first dragon of the game after 11.5 minutes taken there by G2. And we're up into the mid lane where the sweet Lady of Rage is summoned, but Yike sends her away to another map. But only almost to another map as she returns, just to be more furious, and nonetheless, in the end, crushing into the T1. Little squabble there between the 2 top laners as Peanut, out of the brushes, throws the spear. It connects and Broken Blade, and the second spear will send him to the graveyard. And we're almost 30.5 minutes into the game as we see Gen.G finally taking down the T1 on the mid lane. And 2 minutes later, the top lane T1 as well. And the momentum continues to be in their favor as to take down the Herald and summon it just seconds later. In the mid lane, going for the T2 now. It's a 5v4 in their favor for now as Broken Blade is about to TP in and Caps. He's coming from the flank. And Yike, he's going no for Delight, who has to dismount over the wall right into Caps. He activates his Tibbers. And on the top side screen, it's Broken Blade with a slicing Maelstrom bursting down the health bar of Peanut. Unfathomable carnage there in the rift as Peanut is slain by Caps, who has also killed Chovy before. And on the other side, it was Doran taking down Mickey. And so in the end, it's a 2-for-1 in favor for G2. We're now going to take the Dragon as well. Pace now coming by and so is Doran, trying to deny them the objective. But in the end, they're outnumbered and it will be a 2v4. And so they will have to give it up. And a team from the LCK still being in the lead with 3,000 gold as we up into the top side river. Where Ike now joins the fight between Broken Blade and Doran. The Malphite stunned by the cannon. And they sent the Gen.G top laner back to the Vander. Broken Blade now going for the top lane T1 as we see in the mid lane Hans Sommer and Mickey attacking Azari who's strolling around. They're all on her own. But now Peanut joins the scene and the G2 bot laners disengage. And now they roam towards the top side jungle as Broken Blade destroys the T1 in the top lane. And Delight, he's getting closer to Mickey who now engages. And he knocks up the Rel and the feathers of the Xion are recalled by Hans Sommer doing so much damage. Yikes coming in for the flank and they take down Delight. Pace is stunned by the heroic charge of the Poppy. And the ADC of Gen.G will fall as well. And so it's G2 now making their mark in this game. As we see the Nidalee spear there by Peanut interrupting the recall. But he now becomes the target of Yike and of Broken Blade. And it seems as if the Gen.G jungler just overstayed there. And we are 21 minutes into the game, Hans Sommer taking down the mid lane T1 and in the top lane it's a battle between Chovy and Broken Blade. The Cassante with the all out. He pulls the G2 top laner into the danger zone where now Peanut arrives and Doran comes for the gank. But he won't be needed as the Nidalee Q impales the cannon. And now we see Yike down on attack, but he counters with a steadfast presence. And now the keeper's verdict on Delight. And he's now running away from 3 members of Gen.G chasing him down. And they are just delirious with a hunt there, following him up until the T2. The Malphite Q connects, but the Nidalee spear will miss. Flash by Peanut, but he gets stopped there by Caps. Only Doran can slip through and take down Yike. But in the end, they were too greedy, and the damage from Caps turns out to be huge because now the rest of G2 can just clean up all 3 players of Gen.G. And they will take the Baron Nashor and trade it for a Chemtech Drake. And we now see Broken Blade after 24 minutes taking down the bot lane T1. And their push will continue. G2 now with the momentum and the flash E of Yike on Peanut. Mickey dashes over the wall to join the fight. But Doran also with his ult over the wall joins the fight, and at the end it's Yike and Mickey who see their screen grayed out. And also Broken Blade is sent back to the fountain. It's a 3-for-0 trade for Gen.G. So only 1 turret taken there during the Baron buff, and now we see in the bot lane a little bit of hide and seek between Chovy and Yike. And the fate of the Cassante is sealed at the very moment that he's been spotted. The 4 members of G2 hammering down on him. And now it's 50 seconds of numbers advantage for G2 and they are trying to use it, pushing the bot lane. And the remaining members of Gen.G not showing any ambition to defend the T2 and they will just let it go, gathering now under the inhib turret. But there are only 3 players as Peanut is still in the bot side jungle, recalling only by now. And so the inhib turret in the bot lane is history as well. And now G2 going back to the Drake. And they will slay it to take the soul point. And put themselves in a bit of an advantageous position to win this game 3 and fend off the defeat in this series. And we're only half a minute later as we see this scene here. Mickey with a battle dance into grand entrance. Knocks up Doran. Yike comes in with the heroic charge there. And on Sommer, chiseling away the health bar of the Malphite feather by feather. And Pace dashes over the wall, tries to get away, but Broken Blade follows him and brings him down. Delight and Chovy now trapped under their tower. And Delight, he's just doomed. And Chovy getting low there, but he can get away. Gen.G, they lose 3. As G2, they stay as a full squad. Now going for the bot lane inhib. And the super minions will be on their way shortly. And only 1 minute later, around the Baron Nashor pit, it's Doran with the unstoppable force on Hans Sommer. Delight comes by and is sent away by the keeper's verdict. It's deadly feathers they are thrown by Hans Sommer. And now the slicing maelstrom of Broken Blade dealing so much damage to the members of Gen.G. Doran and Chovy are already down. Yike stuns Pace there with a heroic charge into the wall. and the ADC of Gen.G is taken down, maybe for good, in this game number 3. Peanut and Delight, the last living members of Gen.G, trying to make their way back into the base. But the team from the LEC will be coming for them. But Delight, he will stand tall, tries to be the heroic defender there, but he's stunned, knocked up, turns into the goldenness of his stopwatch, and then only seconds later, slain and sent into the fountain for the last time in this game, as G2 is taking down Nexus turret after Nexus turret. Peanut and the respawning Doran can only do so much, and in the end, this series is going into game number 4. It ain't over yet, as G2 defeats Gen.G in their 3rd attempt. It's the first game number 4 of this tournament where G2 is trying to make the miracle comeback happen. They have Broken Blade again on the cannon in the top lane. Yike, he's on the Poppy again. Caps, he shows the Aurelian Soul Hunt Summer on his Draven. And Mickey, he's on the Soraka. And for Gen.G, it's the second of 3 potential match point games with Doran in the top lane on the Cassante. Peanut, he's on the Elise. Chovy on the Tristana. Pace on the Jinx. And Delight, he plays the Lulu. Already 6:45 in the game, we see Doran there going for Caps with the flash W, and he takes 1 turret shot, the second connects, and even the third won't be enough to take out the Cassante and Soul's first blood, going to Gen.G there. 7.5 minutes into the game, Pace and Delight on the drawback there, as Yike is coming in for the gank. Only Pace has his flash available, but so is Yike on the Poppy, and he knocks back Delight with his W into his bot laners, and so it's the first kill for G2 there as well. A bit more than 9 minutes into the game, Gen.G is slaying the Herald and summon the dread of all turrets another minute later in the mid lane, where he charges, headbutts into the turret, and then Caps will bring it down. First dragon of the game slain there by G2 after 11 minutes. And as Doran dodges the shuriken there in the brush, it seems as if Broken Blade was unaware that he's there, and so the Cassante goes in, follows with it all out as Peanut now comes by, and the Elise ascends and repels, and leaves the G2 top laner with no chance there for an escape. And it will be the same protagonists in the top lane there, but Broken Blade in a 1v2 now under his turret, a little bit more on safety, and Doran, he gets too greedy there, takes too much damage, and the turret will take him down now with Peanut on the retreat as Yike and Caps come by, and the fate of the spider is sealed at this very moment. There's no escape route for Peanut, but the grey screen. And the entertainment in the top lane continues as Doran and Broken Blade are going all in on each other. And they are trading nothing but carnage until Yike comes in and says, I don't want to be entertained, I'll flash after you, and I'll kill you. And we're 16.5 minutes into the game as we see Peanut taking the Drake there, but now he's getting chased by Yike and by Caps. Peanut already taking damage, he has to ascend. Nothing in the vicinity that he can repel to, so he lands on the same spot, flashes over the wall. And now the skies descend, but straight into the invulnerability of the stopwatch. Doran goes in to save his jungler, and now Yike in grave danger. And he has to immediately get away there to save his life. And we open to the bot lane where we see Caps busy there with the minions until Doran decides that he wants to see this Aurelian Soul dead. And like a lunatic, he's going after him, trying to take him down. He passes the point of no return, and he really had to get this kill, because the turret will take him down in return. The second herald of the game, just like the first one, goes to Gen.G, and we see Chovy here after 21 minutes, taking down the bot lane T1 for his team. And the team from the LCK are really going for the objectives. They take the dragon, they summon the Rift Herald, and now they try to take down the mid lane T2 as well. By the help of the living battering ram, they will succeed in that, but now Yike comes in with the Keeper's Verdict, and it will send away both Peanut and Delight. Pace gets hit by the falling star and by the rolling death of Hunt Summer, which will take him down, but also Yike falls. Broken Blade chases Chovy with the slicing maelstrom, but Doran comes in, and the Cassante forces the cannon to retreat, and now he knocks up Caps, stuns him, and Chovy will kill him, and with this fight will end in favor for Gen.G, trading 2 for 1 there. And we hop over into the Baron Pit 3.5 minutes later, where we see Broken Blade at the bottom side screen trying to flank, but he gets stunned and stopped there by the Cassante, and he's taken away there by Doran with the all out. As Caps took serious damage there from Chovy, And Yike with the keeper's verdict on Peanut sends him dangerously close to Broken Blade, but it will be the super mega death rocket from Pace that takes down the G2 top laner. And it's Yike with a flashy on Doran. And the fate of the Cassante is sealed. Now it's a 1-for-1 trade, and the whole team of G2 taking the blast cone over the wall. Jovi opens the fire, but Pace with the Jinx Zap takes down Mickey. And somehow he gets cocooned and he's to fall next. Now only Yike and Cap's alive. Gen.G they split up to make it a 2v1 each. And the life of the Aurelian Soul comes to an end as Yike is polymorphed and follows into the grey screen just seconds later. G2 gets aced. Gen.G they only lose Doran, and they will take the Baron buff. And they will try to use it wisely, using this as a stepping stone to put an end to this series. But there's also a dragon in the bot side pit, taken there by Peanut, as we can see on the bottom right screen. And now the team from the LCK going for it. The bot lane T2 falls. And their opponent from Europe stands in front of the inhib turret, eager to take up the fight. But it's just a small silver lining for them, being down by 6,000 gold and against the overpowered minions. And so Broken Blade TP's in for the hero play. And a slicing maelstrom at the extra rocket belt will be enough to take down Delight. But he has to immediately go into the stopwatch against 3 members of Gen.G. He won't stand for long. And as Peanut comes up with the flank, it's a rocket jump off Jovi there, connecting on Hansama and Caps. And so they're both sent to the fountain. Yike gets chased down there by Pace. He collects a triple kill. Gen.G they lost Doran, but they won't care at all, because now they are making their way towards the Nexus for the last time in this matchup, and they will take home the series, proceed to the upper bracket, and banish G2 to the struggle in the lower bracket. And so the first day of the MSI main stage comes to an end, but there will be yet a lot more lying in front of us.
Time go, lost in space, so